This is take 5 of recording a Flosstube video today. Apparently it's not as easy as I remember it being, but we're gonna get through this. So I'm back. It's been a hot minute, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I think the last time I recorded was beginning of May. So I just wasn't feeling the Flosstube thing. In fact, I haven't even really been watching a lot of Flosstube up until recently. I kind of started watching a couple of my favorites again. But yeah, I've cross-stitched a ton, which I'll show you a little bit. But yeah, I've just been watching Netflix and Hulu or whatever. But I'm just ready to get back into it. I'm feeling a lot more like myself. I've been good. I haven't been like bad or anything. Just not really myself, not really super happy, and you know, things are weird right now, but it's starting to feel better. Sometimes you just have to change your mindset, change your perspective a little bit, and that helps immensely. I'm a bit of a control freak, so having things happening that are outside of my control, I really struggle with. So I just have to change my mindset, realize that there are things I can control and things I can't, and regardless of what I can and can't control, I can always control my attitude and my reaction to things. So that's what I'm focusing on, and yeah, things are good. So I'll give a quick life update. I don't remember what was happening in May. I barely remember what was happening last week, but I do know my husband's been working all summer. He is a construction contractor. And works for himself, and he's been busy this summer, so that's been good, although not as busy as some years, but that's okay, you know, getting back into things. And I'm back to work part-time, so I go into work a couple days a week and work from home the other 3 days of the week, but I think that's going to start increasing a little bit. The company I work for is super flexible, and they have been super amazing about working from home, or you know, doing whatever we need to do. But so my boss has basically told me, do what you need to do. But I feel like I'm missing out on things by not being at work. I work in facilities, and most of the people in my department are at work every day because you have to be there. That's the nature of the work. I'm fortunate that I don't, but like I said, I feel like I miss out on a lot when I'm not there. And I am trying to learn new responsibilities, and that's extremely difficult from a distance. So I'm probably going to just start slowly increasing the amount of time that I'm in the office until I'm back full time, and that'll be good. It's also good because it forces me to have a routine again. It's easy to not have a routine, and you know, like I'm a control freak, I'm also very structured. So for me to not have a normal routine feels very chaotic, and I don't like it. And also Ezra's going back to school on the 31st, so that's good. His school, they do trimesters instead of semesters, and they gave the option for the kids to pick if they wanted to do in-person or distance learning. But whatever they pick has to be it for the whole first trimester, and then they'll evaluate where things are at after that. He really struggled with the online learning in the spring, and we couldn't even finish explaining to him what his options were, and he was like, I'm going back to school. So he's 17, he can make those choices himself. It'd be not even worth it to try to fight with him on that. So he's going back to school, and I think it'll be good. They're all getting Chromebooks, and all of their assignments and everything will be housed electronically I think in the cloud somehow. I don't know how all that works. I'll have to figure it out, I suppose. And they'll be ready to go if cases go up and the kids have to come back home. So he knows that, you know, it might be short-lived being in person at school, and he might have to come back home eventually, and he's okay with that. But yeah, I think that's really it life-wise. We don't really do much, but quite honestly, I'm kind of a homebody anyway, and it doesn't really bother me to not do much. We haven't seen friends as often as what we normally would. But you know, it is what it is. We try to have distance visits once in a while, and we do see our families, so that's good. I miss, you know, I keep shaking the table, sorry. There's things that I miss I miss being able to go to the bar and just walk in and get a drink. Our bars are open, but they only if they have outdoor seating. Restaurants are open for half capacity, but if more than 70% of their revenue comes from alcohol, then they're considered a bar and they can only have outdoor seating. So we have gone out to eat a couple of times and it's been fine. I feel bad for the servers because they don't get paid very well. The hourly wage isn't great, and they don't have a lot of tables, so I'm sure they're not making much on tips. So the couple of times that we have gone out to eat, we give a very generous tip, just to try to make it a little bit more worth it for them. But yeah, other than that, things are normal, doing yard work, housework, and cross stitching. So speaking of cross stitching, let's jump into cross stitching. So when I was trying to make plans for this video, I was trying to remember what had even been going on the last time I recorded in May, what I'd been working on, and I don't remember. So we're just going to figure that's in the past. We're going to start fresh. I did have one finish. It was actually a start and a finish since I recorded last, and I stitched Seeking Refuge. So this was incredibly therapeutic for me. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. See if I can get this in here. And nothing's ironed. It's like 180 trillion degrees outside. There's no way I'm ironing. But so I started this on May 1st and finished it on June 30th. So I think that's probably the fastest stitch I have ever done. And maybe if I hold this up here long enough, it can be my screen grab, maybe. But yeah, so this was incredibly therapeutic for me and I really enjoyed it. I stitched this nonstop. I monogamously, that's a hard word for me, stitched this throughout all of May and June. My goal was to have it done before I started going back to any kind of in-person or on-campus work. And oh, funny story. So the place where I work, they stopped calling it, what did they call it? They were calling it back to work. And then they had to change it to back to campus because so many people were getting upset because when you say back to work, it implies that if you're working at home, you're not working. People are ridiculously sensitive about everything these days. But anyway, so my goal was to have this done before I went back to campus. And that was on June 22nd, I think, is the first day I went back on site. So I came really close because I finished it June 30th. But, oh, and this is stitched on 40 count light Mocha Newcastle linen. And I think that was probably the called for, I think. So I have a question for all you seasoned stitchers. So there's different kinds of linen I'm noticing. So up until, some of you will remember, but up until recently, like the last, I don't know, 6 months, I only stitched on Aida. Before I discovered Flosstube, I was a very sheltered stitcher, and I honestly didn't know that there was anything other than Aida to stitch on. So I only stitched on Aida. Now, my favorite is linen. I love stitching on linen. I'll pick linen over anything else every single time. And I prefer 36 or 40 count. I just love it. But anyway, so my question. So I'm discovering there's different kinds of linen. So what's the difference? Does anybody know? And I don't even know off the top of my head what the different types of linens are. I just notice, like, when I'm looking through fabrics that they have different names. Sorry, my nose itches. So yeah, does anybody know the difference and like preferences or any of that kind of thing? Okay, so that I think was the only real finish I had during my time away. So I'm having a struggle. I have right now, I think 13 whips, and I don't think that counts my Linen and Threads mystery sampler sale or my temperature chart. So really I think I have 15. I don't really count those. But in most of you know, if you watched me before, that before Flosstube, I was a monogamous stitcher. Like, I had only finished maybe, like, I've been stitching since I was 9. And I think I've only finished 6, before Flosstube, I had only finished 6 or 7 projects in my entire life, because I tend to stitch large projects and they take a very long time, and that's the only thing that I would stitch on for the most part. So now I have 13 whips, and sometimes it gives me a little panic attack when I think about how many I have, and it feels very overwhelming because I want to stitch on and finish everything. But some of them are very large projects too, so they're going to take years to finish. But I also really like starting things. So it's this constant struggle of, between the two. So what I've been doing is every month I have a piece that I focus on, and that's my main stitch for the entire month. And then I pick something to work on every Sunday during the month. And then I spin my Tiny Decisions wheel to figure out what I'm going to stitch on Whip Wednesday. So I get, a little bit of variety in there, but I'm still focusing on one project to hopefully knock some of these out. And then I made a deal with myself that, with the exception of September, which I didn't bring with me, so I don't know if we'll talk about it or not, but I'm not starting anything new unless if I finish my focus piece during the month, then I can start something new. Or, yeah, that's just it. Because I was going to say, you guys know how my plans change a lot, so don't even hold me to this. But because I was also thinking, if I finish 2 projects, then I can start one. But, we'll see how it goes. I'll probably just start everything anyway, so it's really irrelevant. But anyway, if I have a focus piece during the month, then hopefully I'll actually finish some things. So my focus piece for August is the Garden Charm, which is a pattern from Dimensions. It was designed by Victoria Howard, and this is it. You guys probably remember, I think I started this back in March, and I don't know if you can see it. I am stitching this for my mother-in-law, and this is how far I've gotten. I'm not even halfway done yet. I was hoping to have this done in August. I don't know what I was thinking. It always takes way longer than what I think it's going to. Plus, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have stitched and frogged this roof 3 times. So the last time I pulled it out, I put my grid lines back in. I had grid lines, and then, I don't know, this got water on it or something happened, and the grid lines came out. So I put the grid lines back, and that seems to be helping. But this is a beast to stitch on. It's beautiful. I love it. Look at that bird bath. Let's see if it's going to focus. I love this. But it's a beast. So I am stitching this on 22 count Aida that I coffee dyed. And I am stitching it with 2 threads. 2 over 1, like you normally do on Aida. But because it's 22 count, it's super tight. So like it's really thick and really tight. And there's lots of color changes. I don't know if you can tell in like that branch, but there's like 5 different colors of green in there. So there's lots of color changes. It's super tight. Sometimes after I get like a lot of stitching in on one of the little motif things, it's really hard to get my needle through, so I have to use a sharp needle, and it's really not my favorite thing to stitch on. But I want to have this done to give to her for Christmas, at the very latest for her birthday, which is in April. So I'm trying to just focus on it and knock it out. I'll see how far I get. We only really have 1 more week of August, so I'm probably not going to get real far. But if I'm feeling it, I might make this my focus for September too and see how far I can get. If not, I might take a month off and then start it back up in October or something. I don't know, but I need to get it done. And like I said, it's not really my favorite thing, but I love how it looks. It's beautiful, but it's killing me. So my Sunday stitch for August is Persia, and this is by Marti Harrington Designs, and sorry about any glare. I got this off Etsy, and this was my oldest current whip. I started this in 2014, and I even took it out of the hoop so I could show the whole thing because it's been so long. So I am on the 4th page of 9, I believe. And you can tell how old it is by the masking tape before I knew better. So that's how far I am. And this is super fun to stitch. I'm stitching this. This is 18 count Aida. And I'm stitching this just one thread, just 1 over 1. And yeah, this is really nice. This is nice to stitch on Sundays because, to get a break from the monster. I keep saying sorry. Because it's so easy. It's pretty mindless. I did this whole little strip basically in one day. It's super quick. So yeah. Oh, and I started keeping track of how long I stitch on things. So I can never be a stitch counter. Like some people count their stitches. I can never do that. That just seems super tedious. But I can keep track of my time. So I made myself some little printouts, and I just keep track every day of which project I stitched on and how many minutes. So it'll be kind of interesting to see in the end how many minutes I've spent on each thing. So my Whip Wednesday stitch from this past week was actually a new start that you guys haven't seen yet. It was my birthday start. My birthday was on the 10th. So this was my birthday start. So I had another new start when I really didn't need to have one. I'm telling you, I like to start things, but apparently don't like to finish them. Oh, speaking of finishing, I am a horrible FFOer, you guys. I have an entire freezer Ziploc bag full of things I need to fully finish. So someday. But I was using the excuse that all the craft stores were closed. I can't do that anymore. But so here's, sorry about the glare again. Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. I started this for my birthday start. This is my favorite thing in the world. Favorite thing in the world. So I am stitching this on 36 count linen in the color Outback Jack by BeStitchMe. And I am seriously playing chicken with the borders on this. I probably should have got a bigger piece of fabric. And by the time I realized how close I was, I had already started stitching, and I didn't want to get a bigger piece of fabric because I really love this, and I think it'll be fine. It's super close. I'll show you guys in a second. It's super close, but I talked to my mom about it. She's a seasoned stitcher. Hi, Mom, by the way. And, you know, she had reminded me that we can just sew fabric onto it to make it easier to frame. But look how close to the edge I am, you guys. Super close. I mean, I'm not super far. Like, I could still rip it out, I guess, and get a bigger piece of fabric. Tell me what you think. Comment down below. If you really feel like I should start over on this, let me know, like now. But that's how far I got. So on Wednesday, I got those words done. And this, I love stitching on this. I was so excited. I've been waiting to start this for a long time. So I was super excited about that. So that is pretty much everything I've been working on. So like I said, we have one more week in August. So the other thing that I'm doing is Dark 13 stitching and like stitching something Christmas on the 25th of every month, just to kind of throw more variety in there and to touch things more often, honestly. So the 25th will be this week, and so I'm gonna for the Christmas stitching, I'm working on Brett's Stocking by Shepherd's Bush, and this is for Elliott, so I call it Elliott Stocking. And I haven't gotten real far in it. This is on 28 count new khaki Lugana. And I'm stitching stockings for all the kids. So, oh, my needle's still in there. So I'm just doing them all on the 28 count Lugana, which isn't really my favorite, but it's not awful. And that's as far as I got. I started it, and that was it. So this is going to be my stitch on the 25th, and it also happens to be what came up when I spun the Tiny Decisions wheel for this Wednesday. So I'll work on that on the 25th and on Wednesday, which I think is the 26th, so 2 days in a row. So that'll be good. So that's really all I have. I'm going to try to get back into recording weekly again. I'm not sure when this will upload because if you remember, my internet sucks, you guys. So in order for me to upload a video, I have to basically shut off the Wi-Fi to every other device in my house, which doesn't make the kids very happy. So I try to do it on Saturday mornings. So I usually record Friday night and edit and then upload Saturday mornings. I'm gonna try transferring after I edit back to my computer and seeing if that upload goes better, because the other challenges is my phone is for work as well as personal. So even though I own it, it has work stuff on it, and they will not allow us to take off the sleep setting. So after 5 minutes, my phone goes to sleep, and there's no way I can change that. So my upload stops. So I have to constantly sit right next to my phone and keep hitting it every 5 minutes to make sure it doesn't go to sleep. And my computer does the same thing, I think. So that was always the challenge before and kind of a struggle. But so we'll see. I want to go back to filming or recording every week. So regardless of the challenges of uploading, it's worth it. To have the interaction, and I just really miss you guys. I miss the comments. I miss actually recording and doing the editing, and even the upload part I kind of miss. It was kind of my alone time on Saturday mornings to get up early and do that, but mostly I miss you guys. And so yeah, if there is something that I was stitching on before that you would like to see, either I finished it and don't remember and didn't show you guys, or you just want to see progress on it, comment down below and I will show that on my next recording, which actually might not be next week because we are talking about going camping. So if we go camping, I will not be able to record because I'll be camping. So if that's the case, it might be 2 weeks from now. But anyway, comment that down below. And I think that's it, you guys. Stay safe. Do all the things you're supposed to do. Keep stitching and keep it fresh.